The question is, find the present value of $70 to be received every year for 3 years with the first payment 1 year from now, if the annual discount rate is 0.05. We can solve this by hand or with a calculator, but first let's draw a timeline to help us organize our cash flows. Our first time period is the present. We call this time period 0, and today there's no cash flow, so we just write $0. In time period 1 year from now, we're going to receive a cash flow of $70. 2 years from now, time period 2, we're going to receive another cash flow of $70, and our last cash flow of $70 is received 3 years from now, so we call that time period 3. To use the calculator to solve this problem, we have to input our cash flows. The cash flow for time period 0, the present, is $0. The cash flow for the first period, which is 1 year from now, is $70. The cash flow for time period 2 is $70, and our final cash flow is $70 as well, which occurs in time period 3. We have to put in our interest rate of 5%, which we have to write as 0.05, and we want to calculate the net present value. The net present value of all of these cash flows is $190.63. Now here's our timeline again of our cash flows, and we can calculate this by hand. By hand, we need to remember the formula. The present value of a cash flow is its future value divided by 1 plus r, the interest rate, raised to the t, where t is the time period in which that cash flow occurs. So our first cash flow of $70 occurs in time period 1. So we put $70 in for the future value, we put 0.05 in for the interest rate, and we put 1 for the time period because it occurs 1 year from now. So we calculate the present value of this $70 to be worth $66.67 today. We need to do this for the other cash flows. The only thing that changes is the time period. So we just change it from 1 to 2 because the second $70 we receive occurs 2 years from today. We find that to be worth $63.49. And our last cash flow is worth $60.47. We just had to change the time period to 3. To find the present value of all these cash flows today, we just need to add up their individual present values. And again, we see it's the same answer, $190.63.